I'm here right now at the American Public Transportation Association Transform Conference, where the T does it pretty well here in Boston. I'm Paul Comfort, and this is Transit Unplugged, the world's leading transit executive podcast. And I just had a conversation with Winston Toh, who is the general manager for Tower Transit running bus service in Singapore, where the LTA, the Land Transport Authority, operates what's considered one of the finest examples of integrated transit in the world. Listen to Winston today tell you about how his company is a big part of that on this episode of Transit Unplugged. Great to be with Winston Toh, who is the managing director of Tower Transit in Singapore. Winston, thanks for being on the show with us.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Great to have you with us again to talk about public transportation in Singapore. Those who are fans of the show will know we spent quite a bit of time in Singapore a couple of years ago and did an episode of our TV show there and talked to Jeremy Yap, who's the deputy director of LTA, Land Transport Authority. Winston, tell us about what Tower Transit does there.
Well, we are one of the 4 public transport operators in Singapore. We operate 2 out of the 14 bus contracting model package in Singapore. And that is about 15% of the total route that Singapore operates. We operate a total of about 60 routes. We have about 800 public city buses. And we have got 2 packages. One package is called Bulim bus package. And the other one is called Sembawang Yishun bus package.
Singapore, I think it has one of the best transit systems in the world. I've been all over the place, and I know it's been ranked that way in many rankings, but amazing the amount of people that ride public transportation in Singapore, 7.5 million trips a day. Talk to us some about the island itself, where it's situated, and kind of give us some of the background for people who aren't familiar with Singapore.
Well, Paul, you are near Rhode Island, and we are just about maybe a quarter of the size of Rhode Island, and Singapore will fit right inside Washington Beltway. We have got about only 5.9 million people, and part of it also there are tourists that comes in and out. It's a very popular tourist destination as well. And we have been told that we are one of the best world city for public transportation, building about 7.5 million trips per year, about 5,800 buses operating on our roads daily, and a total of about 400 bus routes. And the fares is something that is commendable. We keep the bus fare very affordable for people. Like as an example, it's between $1.19 to a maximum of $2.26. And our senior citizens gets concession, and they start at 69 cents for the first 3.2 kilometer. And you'll probably spend only about $1.02 the whole day, right? The public transport system is well integrated between bus and the trains. So it supports each other. You have one card, and you can switch from train to buses just using the one payment card.
And you have a rail service there. It takes about 3.4 million people a day. The light rail, 210,000. But the bus is the heavy hitter, right? 3.8 million passengers a day. I mean, that's, if you have 5 million people there, pretty much everybody's riding it. It sounds like the bulk of the people ride transit, right?
Yes. In fact, that is one of the government initiative trying to move people from private transport towards public transport.
Right. You all were one of the first cities in the world to have congestion charging. When I was there last time, Jeremy drove me around and showed me, there's the gantries, here's how it works, just like we started in New York City this year.
Yeah, it's an economic cost, if you don't manage the time, there's an economic cost for that. And I think if we were to be in some of the other ASEAN city, you realize that you want to get from one place to another place for meeting. Sometimes for a 2-kilometer route, you take you 2 hours. So these are really challenges. So for Singapore, this is not an issue. If people prefer to drive, they can take the car. But actually, public transport will take you to your destination much faster.
So tell us about Singapore itself. It's like a city-state, right? And it's located close to Malaysia?
Yeah. So it's probably, if you want to put it, it's quite in the center of Southeast Asia, right? The tip of the entire Asia continent, where it links the Indian Ocean towards South China Sea. And that's one of the most important trade routes in the world from the early turn of the centuries. Yeah.
Yeah. I love the the spicy crab there and the food marts and all that stuff, the outdoor food market. I remember going there, getting all kinds of different food that we did it on the show, actually. Tower Transit, though, really, the name Tower Transit, for a lot of people, they may think of it as British because it kind of started there, I think, right? And then came into Singapore?
Yes. The people who started in UK, London, well, because of the Tower Bridge in London, they
Right.
started and they Tower Transit London, TTOL, and then the same people founded the Singapore one where it came in. They won the first contract to operate in Singapore in 21.5 and we commenced operation in 2016. So that is part of the group Tower Transit.
Here in America, I'm the executive director of a group called the North American Transit Alliance, which represents the six largest bus contractors in America. And I've noted numerous times that across the world, cities and agencies like Singapore, they actually contract out most, if not all, of their public bus service, the fixed route bus service. Here in America, it's not that way. Here in America, a lot of the paratransit, which are the vans for people with disabilities, is contracted out, but a much smaller percentage of the fixed route buses are contracted out. Tell us how that works over there and what are the results?
Actually, in Singapore, everything works, right? And it's because of the government intervention in centralized planning. When you have a centralized planning system, there's lesser wastages, right? So therefore, there is this train system plus a bus system coming together to ensure that all the population bases are being covered.
Yeah.
And constantly they keep improving. And because every of the constituencies has got their member of parliament, right? And they will also fight for their citizens in that area to have coverage. I would say every inch of the land is covered by some form of public transport services.
Wow.
So through the centralized planning by the government, they will then, divide. So far, they have divided into 14 packages to cover possibly the geographical area. But they intercross each other because some of the route are called trunk services and some of them are the feeder services. So the feeder services are the one that serve the last mile interest of the commuter. They finish their train, come from CBD, go home, and they take the feeder service back to their home in a very, very short trip. Whereas at the same time, we are also covering some part of it are trunk services that people also prefer to take buses rather than train, right? So we have got all this coverage. So there's lesser wastages with this form of planning. Yeah.
I love how safe it is there too. I remember being there, and a buddy of mine that was with me that works there said, Paul, literally, I could go out into the park at midnight with my laptop and work, and I don't have to turn around and, worry if somebody's going to come up and knock me over the head. It doesn't happen. There's just really almost, it's virtually crime-free is what he said.
Yeah, we have got a very strict gun control in Singapore. So first of all, life are not at stake. Secondly, I think over the many years, we have cleaned up quite a lot of drug-related things, and that reduced the crime rate. And pretty much now, things are very safe over the many years. Yeah.
Tell us about how long you've been there, and then talk to us about Tower Transit, how long they've been there.
Yeah, I've been with Tower Transit for about 6.5 years now. And Tower Transit has been here for 9 years. So in the first 2.5 years, I was not with them, and I took over in 2019, beginning of 2019. I've been with them since then. And just a little bit of background, I was a military officer, career military officer in the Singapore Armed Forces for many years. Thereafter, I've got a few other commercial jobs before I landed on this about 6.5 years ago. Yeah.
That's great. And you all are part of the Kelsian group, right? Which is out of Australia?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Great people there. I've had several of them on the show. I'm very impressed by the operations of the Kelsian group. It was through them, I think, that I was able to connect with you. So it was great. Talk to us about some of the expansion you've got now. You've told us about what you already are doing there, but aren't you going into Sentosa Island bus operations?
As to the expansion, so what we do now is that currently I'm operating 2 bus packages. The 2 bus packages comprise about 806 buses, 60 over routes. Some are city direct services and all that. So first part of the expansion is really within the bus contracting model. every year there will be tender coming out. So that part of the organic growth path is always there. And we have submitted a tender for a package called PT220, which is a Tampines package. Result will be out in the 1-2 months. So that is one part of the expansion within that itself. The second part of expansion, you have heard it that we have won the Sentosa contract to operate 3 guest services route, 5 employee services route, and also a beach tram services in Sentosa. So that is our first foray into the commercial bus business, and that is the second part of the non-organic growth in that sense into the commercial transport area. And there are also other opportunity that is coming up, and they came to us. I guess it's because of our reputation of being a very reliable and service-orientated operator, that people think that by having us there, you help them in their branding as well as their operations. So there are many opportunities that came to us, and we think that these are opportunities for us to continue to expand ourselves in Singapore. Yeah.
Where is Sentosa Island in relationship to Singapore?
Sentosa Island is a tourism island.
Okay.
South Singapore, right at the southern tip of Singapore.
Okay.
And it's all tourists. Universal Studio is there.
Oh, wow.
Nice hotel there, beach resort. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, that sounds like a place I'd want to visit. It sounds fun. That's great. Now, I think it was Glenn or someone was telling me about you guys have some AI-enabled safety system training, and I'm very interested in that. And people here in the U.S. and I know everywhere in the world are interested in trying to see how AI can help improve what they're doing. Tell us about what you guys are doing there.
Well, first and foremost, I think safety is top priority in the bus business, right? And printed behind our safety vest is this word called "Get Home Safe." Can you see that?
Yes, it says "Get Home Safe." Yeah, on the back of the vest. Yeah.
I think we are all very obsessed with getting our people home safe as well as getting the commuter home safe. So we spend inordinate amount of time looking at safety-related issues, right? All the way plotting from the time they get onto the bus till the time they go home, they get out the bus. And that is for all age groups, from wheelchair-bound people to people that has got invisible disability, right? To 90-year-old people and things like that. So that part of it, it covers a whole spectrum of safety. And truth to it is that the one that takes care of safety for this is our frontline staff called our bus captains. We call them bus captains because they are like captain, piloting the bus. And the bus captain has got a heavy responsibility of ensuring safety. And other than, slowing down for the people, gentle braking and all that, there are also other road users that will affect the way he drives and the speed of the vehicle and all that. And I would say that although Singaporeans are pretty good drivers, but there are still errant drivers that cut into the lane, suddenly stopping in front of you and causing the bus driver to have to put on the emergency brakes. So what we are doing now is to put in a lot more technology to help that and shape the safety culture of our bus captains. In public transport, one of the pressure that they have is keeping to the time schedule. And if every bus captain have to keep to the time schedule, they will be very anxious to do that, and therefore the safety behavior may be compromised. We want them to have that peace of mind. We monitor it at the back end, and if they are a bit late, we'll tell them, say, not to worry about it so that they can continue to drive safely. And we put in a lot more technology. So one of the area which will affect driving is driver's fatigue. So we put in a camera system right in front of them that monitor them. It's called the fatigue management system. The camera can look at them, but there's an AI behind it because there are many features inside there, whether it be closing your eyes, using a handphones and all that. But there could also be possibly false negative there. So what we do is that we introduce AI there to analyze based on the different factors to say that this guy is genuinely tired and we should intervene right now.
Yeah, so like if a driver's eyes are closed or he's nodding off, you can see that, right?
Yeah. So we use AI to detect this false positive and to be able to then address it at the correct time So this is one of them. The other area that we introduced in technology is this thing called telematics. So we have got a telematic system there that discourage them from harsh braking, tight cornering, back cornering and things like that. So there is a light system there. It's like a traffic light system. If they're okay, they are green. If they're not so okay, they are amber. If they get red, means they have committed something that's quite serious. So we actually give them an award. So they get $120 incentive, right? And most of them want to get this incentive. So they drive very carefully. So in turns, they shape their behavior. They brake very gently, they don't do harsh turnings and all that. And that makes the commuter very safe and comfortable. We also installed this start inhibitor where only our bus captain can start the bus. There were incidences that other people jump on top of the bus and start to drive the bus away. And, that is quite a weapon if you can be, right? Yeah. So these are some of the technologies that we introduced inside. And some of the AI technology involved also AI into the camera, that if there are people who come too close, other road users that come too close, blind corners and all that, you beep off at the correct direction for the bus driver to alert them of a potential danger. Yep.
That's great. We're talking with Winston Toh, who's the Managing Director of Tower Transit in Singapore. Right after this word, we're going to come back and ask him about the culture of the operations there and also what they have planned for the future, right after this word.
Thanks for listening to the Transit Unplugged podcast. We are so glad you're here. If you're enjoying this show, we know you'll love our other transit industry programs. On Transit Unplugged TV, Paul Comfort explores the food, culture, and transit systems around the globe. You get to see everything. You'll love this show. And every week, we also offer up the Transit Unplugged News Minute, where you can get the latest industry headlines in less than 60 seconds. You can find out more at transitunplugged.com. Now back to Paul Comfort for this edition of the award-winning Transit Unplugged podcast.
We're back with Winston Toh, Managing Director of Tower Transit in Singapore, one of the main contractors who are providing bus service with 800 buses operating on the island of Singapore. And Winston, thanks for being with us today. Now, you all have been there 9 years, you've mentioned, and you've got some key turning points and milestones in the company that you've had since you've been there. Talk to us about those.
Well, I use 3 words to describe that. It's called 3D, 3-dimension. No, not 3-dimension. So the first D is about, initially it's a doubtful future, all right? And second D is doubling the scale. And the third D is diversification. So I'll talk about the first D, all right? Doubtful future. Well, I came in at a point in time where my friend here will call it a sinking ship situation, where our relationship with the authority and the union wasn't great. And at that point in time, we only have one contract that's expiring in about 2.5 years' time. So I came in at that point in time and I basically re-engineered the company and restructured it a little bit so that we can operate much better. And through that period of time, we managed to build up a very open, transparent culture where people are happy working like a little family here. And that was a transition that we did very well. And today, I must say, the company has got a great culture with people happy working here. The second one is doubling the scale, right? At that point in time, we only have maybe one trip only one trip. If we lose that, everything is gone. We were very anxious about that, and we put in for the next tender a good proposal, and we managed to win not only ours back, but also another package. And that's how we expanded to two packages from there. And the third one is diversification. As you know, after we have done that, anyway, for your information, we have just got these 2 contracts extended for another 2 years, right? To
Congratulations.
2028. Yeah. And then as part of the diversification, we have now won the Sentosa bus packages, and a few other opportunities that's coming out, diversification into the commercial bus business, and also some of the engineering and maintenance business for buses, which is part of our core capabilities. Yeah. So these are the area.
That's great. Yeah. And talk to us about the company culture there. You guys are pretty much staffed up, right? You've gotten all your driver positions filled and mechanics, and you're standing out, I understand, as an employer who is really good at attraction and retention. What is the culture you have there that allows you to do that?
Well, I think we have to make everybody very happy in working for this company, right? So just a little bit about us is that we have been Singapore Best Employer, part of the Singapore Best Employer 20 for this year and last year as well. And this year we are likely to get it another one. Staff engagement is about 80%, which is very high, right? And a great place to work certification we have got a great place to work certification. I think that part of it have to do with our people first culture, right? We take care of our employee very well. As an example, every month we have got a free haircut, free massages. When they come back, they're tired at the depot, we give them free massage and haircut. We have a company events like Family Day as well as annual awards night for them, right? And we walk the ground. The leaders walk the ground every day to listen
to the drivers,
feedback. And so we reach out to them every day and we adopt a very open culture. A bus captain can walk into my office anytime. That's the kind of culture that we have.
That's wonderful. Right?
Yeah. When I first started with them, we think that very important to have a vision, mission, and values. So we crafted our vision, mission, and values, and that is something in which every one of us embraced it, right? And today, even the values are being used in their assessments. So we got a values called CITIES, CITIES, and the first one is care. The second one is integrity. Third one is teamwork, followed by innovation, excellence, and safety. So these values are in everybody, and people are living it, not just hanging by the mouth. And these are very important part of it. And recently, we also have something that's just done. It's called a service motto. We want to deliver positive experience at every touch point for our staff as well as the commuter. So therefore, we came up with this service motto called People Moving People. Double meaning. People moving people is transportation, but people moving people in emotional sense of moving people through the experience. And that part of it builds out our company cultures, and we think that we have got very happy employees working for us.
That's great. So as I mentioned earlier, you all are part of a larger group called the Kelsian Group. How does being part of a large, international group influence your operations here? And maybe you have an example or two of cross-border collaboration and how that's had a real impact.
Yeah. Most recently, we started to implement electric bus in Singapore. And Calcium Group started their implementation earlier than us, and they have got it in Sydney, right? And they have got 100 over buses in Sydney. So before we actually embarked on that, we actually went over to Sydney and see how they set up this whole thing and through their experience. And LTA used to ask us for recommendation on some of the things and best practices. And there was a trip that we brought LTA to London to learn about the London operations, right? So, and then the other area is like, for example, during tenders, we share data together for the tender, right? And some of the people practices, we share about safety practices across the group, all right? We've got safety moments that we share with each other. Yeah.
That's good. So let's look ahead then. What do you see coming next for Tower Transit in terms of innovation, expansion, or partnerships?
I think I've talked about the growth, the diversification. Another thing that's coming right ahead is this subject called autonomous bus, AV bus. Recently, Ministry of Transport has started this journey, and they have already decided on some of the blueprint for the AV journey, starting with 2 routes that is recently tendered out for AV bus. Another 2 precincts, one in town called Punggol, right? They are starting end of the year. Another one in Tengah where we are operating, starting again for AV bus. So this is the start of the AV journey, which we want to be part of it. And we are starting to look at collaboration, partnership, and building capabilities to be able to do the AV bus work. Yeah.
Are they looking for like level 4 autonomy, level 5? Do you know? Is it fully autonomous with no driver?
Yes. In fact, there is already a bus in Sentosa that is without driver now. So only recently that they took out the driver. So right now there is a bus that's operating without driver. There are also buses that's operating in enclosed area. For example, Ngee Polytechnic, there are buses that's operating there internally without driver. Not without driver, with safety driver, but not touching. Yeah. So
Not
we are
touching the
already
steering wheel, right?
Yeah. So we are approaching level 4 and level 5 now.
Okay, very good. People who have never been to Singapore have, some of them have seen pictures, I'm sure, of some of the buildings downtown that look amazing. What's that one building called? It's got like three tall buildings. What is it?
Marina Bay Sands.
Yes, yeah. I went to the top of that last time I was there, and I did the picture where it looks like the thing is pouring water into your mouth when you're down in the main.
Yeah,
I forget the name of that.
Malayan.
Yeah, that's it. The Lion. Yeah. So, but there's beautiful scenery all around there too. What would you say is one of your favorite scenic bus routes in Singapore?
You have to take service 106.
Okay.
Service 106 is one of our bus route that goes through this scenic route. They'll pass through Botanical Garden, which is a World Heritage Site. They'll pass through Orchard Road, the shopping belt, and they go right through Marina Bay area, and you can see all the scenic places. So anyone come to Singapore, please go and take service 106. And our friend bus driver will take care of you.
There you go. That's great. And if you could make one improvement to the bus network tomorrow, if the budget wasn't an issue, red tape, what would it be?
I'll tell you the most difficult, and that's what I wish for.
Okay.
It's called service delivery model for our bus captains. The rest of it, I think technology, all these things, you can just throw inside as it matures. But the hardest part of it is shaping the culture of the people to deliver positive services. And, behind us, we just want to maybe say one day our service can be like, Singapore Airlines, SQ. We want to be like, Singapore Airlines SQ of the bus.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I love that. That's great, man. Yeah. Speaking of the airline, that's a wonderful vision for you to have. People that visit the Singapore airport, what's that like big waterfall I saw there when I was in? That thing is fantastic inside the airport.
The Jewel.
Yeah, the Jewel, yeah. It's been a few years since I was there, but yeah, that is great, man. Well, Winston, thank you so much for spending some time with us today to talk to me about your operations there. And Glenn Lim, thank you so much for helping to get this set up. We appreciate it. And we encourage people, I love Singapore. I would love to come back there someday and see it all. It's just a great place. And you all have an amazing transit system, kind of overseen by the LTA, the Land Transport Authority. And congratulations on the great work you're doing. I'll be interested to see how your AV, your autonomous vehicles work out there as well. I know everybody around the world is looking to that.
Yeah. Great. Paul, hope to visit you soon.
Yes.
Haven't been there for a while now.
All righty. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transit Unplugged, the world's #1 transit executive podcast. I'm Julie Gates, executive producer of the podcast. Many thanks to the team that makes this show happen. Host and producer Paul Comfort, producer Chris O'Keefe, editor Patrick Emile, associate producer Cindy Raskin, and consultants Dan Meisner and Jonas Woost at Bumper. Transit Unplugged is being brought to you by Midaxo, passionate about moving the world's people. If you would enjoy behind-the-scenes insights and updates from the show, sign up for our weekly newsletter, which has links to can't-miss conversations with the biggest names in mobility. Head to transitunplugged.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Transit Unplugged.